for the pictures. Anyway, take care. Talk to you later.
Hey, I'm just looking over some blog questions from Bill Lawrence. This one's for Roderick. He says, is a sixth season possible? Why yes, why no? Well, Roderick, I would say that the odds are about 80 to 20 that there's going to be a sixth season of the show. Partly because we're actually doing well this year on NBC, and they only have 2 comedies right now, as of now, coming back next year, The Office and Earl. And partly because if it's not on NBC next year, the show is 100% owned by ABC, and I would imagine it would be on that network. You also wanted to know if Mr. Lawrence, please call me Bill, Roderick, Mr. Lawrence chooses all the music. I do choose all the music, but only after it's brought to me. The person that gets the most songs on is my wife, believe it or not. She's obsessive about bringing new bands in. Neil Goldman, all the writers here, Zach Braff, everybody brings in songs. We listen to them and we try to build a show around them. And, you know, a lot of us still actually go out to local music clubs and try to find small bands that people don't know about or obscure songs that people don't know. Name my favorite song on the show. My favorite song on the show so far, I like the use of the song The Question. It's by Rhett Miller, he's the lead singer of a band called the Old 97s, when Turk asked Carver to marry him. I also liked an obscure one by Neil Lara called Fighting for My Love, the first time JD and Elliot kissed. So that's good. I'm going to go to some other. I'm going to answer a question for Sarah. Were you actually topless in his story too? Sarah was not, I was. I was just off camera, and I just do that to make the actors and actresses comfortable in sex scenes. Now, Sarah was not actually topless. In Hollywood, as they say, they would wear these weird, odd, pasty flower things. I'm wearing them now. They look like little things that you would have in the bottom of your bathtub to keep from slipping. That stuff. Let me see. Oh, Michelle has a question. It's my understanding that the Free Clinic bar scenes were shot on location until the 3rd season. Are you guys at liberty to divulge the name of the bars used? Cool fans of the area can visit them. You know what? That's not true. The Free Clinic bar, we did use an actual bar once or twice, but we only did that because we built all our sets here in the hospital. And where the bar is, where the bar set's built, is a swing set area. So if there's a show that has a lot of extra sets, a lot of swing sets, you know, someone else's apartment, a banquet hall, stuff like that, it's cheaper for us to just build those sets there, and then we go to one of the bars in the neighborhood. Does anybody know any of the names of the bars?
Green Frog?
Is it the Green Frog? They're all in the Valley, you know, Woodman area. Where are some of the bars in the neighborhood that we've used before?
There's one up your ass.
That's not helpful on a blog. Wow. By the way, that's what it's like all day here. What's the significance of license plate 2FAN321? It's been used a couple times in the show with no clear explanation. I'll tell you the explanation, Michelle. The explanation is that license plates are a lot like phone numbers, and it is near impossible to find a license plate that's not an actual license plate. And so when you find one, you use it over and over again, just so you you don't have to clear a different fake license plate all the time. But you caught us obviously, so we should probably change that. Oh, here's one for me. Pavan, P-A-V-A-N, asked, do you think the show may have gotten too wacky, and a lot of fans over at TWOP, which I assume is some kind of website, Television Without Pity, are complaining about Elliot's constant high voice and JD's extreme cockiness and gayness. I do think the show has gotten too wacky, and you know that's really why I'm here 7 days a week, working 24 hours a day, because I think it sucks so much. And unfortunately, there's nothing I can do to turn it around. No, I'm joking. You know what? I don't. I think I think that the show sometimes is too wacky and sometimes too dramatic, and that the ones that are the most successful are when we go right in the middle. But I certainly do know that we're, we do what we think is funny, and hope that you guys continue to like it. See what else? Can you use some Harry Nilsson music in the show from Kenny? Who's Harry Nilsson?
He sang Everybody's Talking at Me.
Oh, yeah.
I can't believe a word. He's from the 70s.
He's got it from the 70s?
Early 70s.
All right, Kenny, man, he's from the 70s. We mostly know newer, more modern stuff, but I'll listen to it. I don't know him.
Yeah, we'll get you some.
If Sebastian, if the 2006 Bill Lawrence, the handsome 2006 Bill Lawrence model was to fashion hijack, steal, or otherwise gain access to a time machine of some description so that he might travel to 2001, are there any major changes you'd want to make in the early arcs of the show? The main one, I think, is that I always hated those sound effects at the beginning. I'm glad they're gone. People's heads used to, here, somebody do them for me. This is what the show used to be like. You keep the camera on me, okay? You ready? There you go. All right, I wish that wasn't there because it's embarrassing when I see him. Other than that, I think that when we had Elliot and JD hook up, that it seemed a little too much like we were going to do Will They or Won't They and have them be a couple that we tracked, and they're not going to be. Besides that, I think that the things that people sometimes, take issue with, just looking at some of the questions, like that, Elliot is very cocky and then very neurotic, and then, suddenly really competent again, or that JD is insecure and then confident, and then the things go back and forth. I happen to think if you examine your own lives, you'll find that you aren't as consistent as you want TV characters to be, and I think that's kind of why I like the ups and downs of everybody's characters so far. Harry Worsnip, Harry says, which actor or actress would you refuse to have on the show as a guest star? Rob Lowe. I don't need to explain. No, I'm joking. I don't know Rob Lowe. I would suppose, I wouldn't, you know what? We're actually having this discussion because of the O.J. Simpson factor, that we all think he's creepy and scary, but how funny it would be if we got him on the show just to make one of those jokes. He did it. You did it, O.J. I say that because he reads the blog, which is very cool. All right. Crows. This one's for Crows. K-R-O-Z-E. Do you have a set ending for the show? And if so, care to give us some spoilers on how you would like it to end? I actually do know how this show ends. I've always had an idea in my head for what the last episode is. I think it's pretty cool. I will not put it out here because then it would kind of ruin the surprise for everybody. But Crows, if you're like an obsessive fan and you want to know, you can actually call me at 310